Robert ShedLog for Sunday the 6th September 2020 for broadcast on Sunday the 20th of September 2020. Hello, I'm Robert and welcome to my shed where I have been building, in case you haven't known from my recent logs, this pedestal for my desk. And once I built this one, I've got another even bigger one to go. This pedestal has a bit of a complex structure compared to standard, so I've got this drawer section. That's the back wall of the drawer section. Behind that I've got this cable run, which is going to have two walls here and here, which is probably off camera for you, but there's, the wall you can see here is the inset left wall, this is the outset left wall. This allows me to get at power cables on this side, use this side as a cable run, that's all it is. So this tongue has to go into a groove on this piece, which will be the back end of the right wall. I've got more pieces tongue groove to go onto the sides, but I can't fit them on the bench, so I left them off. Right, this is all a bit complicated. Basically, what I need to do is to use a straight edge, carpenter's rule is a straight edge, and measure up 109 millimeters. Accurately as I can, there we are. So that means this will protrude behind this piece by 109 mil. Then I need to mark the edges of this tongue. I'm going to just mark those with a pencil so I can see them. You probably can't see them on camera, but they are definitely there. I'll just show you. There's two marks to where the tongue fits the against this piece. I'll just put it up again. I've actually gone and marked the wrong line, I think. We'll just remeasure that just to be 100% safe. Measure twice, cut once, etc. Come on. Easier to move. Yep, not very exciting, but that is right. Okay, so I take this fence, I'm going to try and line this up. If I can, I want to use this edge, which is the original reference edge of the wood, rather than going along this edge, which is a bit rough and ready. Okay, that looks to be it. I'll try and tighten this up. Yes, I'm right at the end of what I can do with this plane, but it is within tolerance. If I were to go any further back, I would need a longer fence arm, and that would be very difficult. So that's these to put away. Alright, the next thing I need to do is to secure this down to the bench. I need to do it leaving myself room for the plane to move. So I should have plenty of width on this material, so I can put a few clamps in. A couple of clamps on that side. And I need a plain stop on this side. For that I can use hold fast and a block of wood should work quite nicely. I should probably use a wooden one, but let's keep that out of the way of there. Right. So now, all I have to do is check that you can see that on camera. Move the monitor. And yes, so the depth is also important. I forgot to measure the depth of the cut. That will be 10 mil. So set the depth stop to 10 mil. Measuring not from the fence but from the blade. Just line up 10 mil point on the ruler. Push the tassel down till it hits the ruler and everything's in place. And tighten this up and as tight as I can. Final check that everything's tight. Nothing's rattling too much. The fence can just about register and adjust. Be very careful in the first few strokes. And I just start planing. Now, ideally you want to plane with the grain. I can't quite tell where the grain is in this wood, but I'll soon know if it's wrong. I think the grain is this way, so we're good. By feel, anyway. I can't see the flacking of the material. I'm just going to tighten this up against that plane stop, otherwise I won't do anything. You always want to start at the end of the cut and work back, because otherwise if you try and start from this end and go this way, there's a big risk of tear out when you get to this end. So just by cutting a small amount, you just reduce that risk. And the temptation is going to be to tilt up because I'm only registering a small amount of the fence here. So sorry, I'm going to have to turn my back to the camera to start with, just to get this started. So let's see what we can do. There we go. Okay, this is moving side to side now. This isn't really not doing its job. I need another hold fast in on here. That should be easy enough to accommodate this scrap wood. I'll do it. No concern, I'm only just cutting the edge. I think this might not be entirely flat, this cutting edge. I thought that before as well. I'm going to increase depth of cut a little bit to compensate. There we go. Now, I'm not used to the swarf being so attached think I'm getting a little bit of lateral movement from the lack of fence. So I'll keep going slowly. Do another one so I've got a very distinct line, and then I'm going to check it again. This is utterly weird, the way this is all just collecting here. So you're quite worried about the side of this wall. But notice I've got a bit of a slip here, so I think I've tilted at the start a few times. That's probably not been great. I've noticed with the plough plane that you tend to get a deeper cut at the far end than you do at the near end. I think that's because you start at the far end, but it does seem also to be progressive, so it tends to tip forwards. Whew. At least halfway now. So I'm hitting the depth stop about here. The last bit is done. Just working backwards now. So yeah, a job like this, putting this on a router table would be faster because of the number of passes you need to make. If I was going the opposite direction on the grain, I could probably have utilised depth of cut, taken half the time. But this will work. It will give me a good serviceable joint. If that went through fairly clean, and do it again, make sure I'm absolutely clean all the way down. And in fact, I'm not finished because this is not touching the depth stop at the start. You can't see that on the monitor, but the depth stop is floating a little bit above the end, which is a bit annoying. It means I need to push down really hard. And that happens because there's only a little bit of tip on the plane itself. So if you can't move if there's a bump further up, you have to clear that bump before you can get the blade to engage at the back. And that happens increasingly with depth of cut. So basically, plough planes are great for doing little 4 or 5 mil cuts, As you go deeper, they'll do the job, and they'll do it well, but they won't do it quickly. They will do it without any dust. Or heavy machinery. I'll do this again. I think I cut the pieces over long and then put the grooves in, then trim them to length because I want them to work at the end of the start of the groove. Okay. Second through just a little bit of fluff in the. Pick that up. Pick that up. Basically, I wanted the whole plane to make it all the way through without any swath. And then I know I'm done. There's just a hint of dust there. Yep, that's it. So there we go. One terminal groove. And I guess I should put this plane away and then show you the finished joint. So there's a tiny bit of material on the tear out on the edge of the corner of the joint there. And as I say, I think it's because I went against the grain on the wood. Very hard to tell the grain direction on this. But I had no choice, I didn't have the tools to do it the other way. Yeah, it's really cosmetic. This is an internal joint. I could even glue this down if it comes to it. Hoping not to. I'm hoping not to have the entire desk knocked down, apart from the desktop, which is already made. So let's bring this back. Just turn it round this time so you can see. That's the. I have to see it's a slight angle to. And there's the one. Done. I know there's a slight gap there, that's intentional. That's so that there'll be a 2mm gap between each of these. There's already a 2mm gap there. And that will give it a consistent look at the back, and that will carry on the sides. That's upside down. It should be that way up. Yeah. So that's a 12mm timed into an 8mm groove. And it looks perfectly consistent because there's a gap on each side of each plank. The same front and back. So from the rear, if you're a wall looking at the desk, that's what you'd see. I'll probably put another piece on, but I've got to redimension it, but I've got another piece to put on the back here, just to make it a bit more finished. I might even decide to do miter join around that, but we'll see. So, that's where I am. I've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 walls done now. Hopefully, by the end of this month, I will have the whole of the pedestal done. And we can think about the next pedestal next month. So that's all for ShedLog this week. I hope you enjoyed my using the plane. Thought about time it's a proper plane video. And yeah, see you again next week. Ta-ta!